feel like you need to carry on doing this because she invested in you.
For sure. That was a big motivating factor, after she died. I made a promise to myself that I would live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to know that most people get a sense of what life actually means when they're really, really close to death. And I had front row seat basically, in that. And tomorrow is never promised to us, and I try to live my life as fulfilled as possible, even though it is when she passed away, it was really hard for me to get out of bed and everything, I was struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts, of wanting to be with her, but I knew that that's not what she wanted.
Yeah, of course.
She wanted me to continue living, and I kind of adopted this mantra where you either die with memories or you die with dreams, and I choose to die with memories.
Welcome to A Filmmaker's Journey. We've got Howie on the podcast today. Welcome, dude.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
You're such a happy guy. I'm so excited to dig into your life. We've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last few months, and
totally,
you're a stud, and I want to hear about more of what you've got going on in your life.
Of course.
You've got a cool story. You've hinted at it.
I've hinted at, yes, definitely.
And it's on Instagram a little bit here and there, but I'm super excited to kind of dig into that side of it, but then also just hear about your filmmaker journey. So,
I love it.
Start with who you are.
Yeah.
What you're doing currently at this point in your career. It's the here and now.
Perfect. Yeah.
What is Howie/Howard doing? Yeah. We're friends now.
Yeah, we're friends.
So I call you Howie.
Call me Howie.
Took me a minute to get there.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about where you're at currently.
Yeah, so currently I am videographer and editor for Tyson Media is one of them,
That's part of it.
Yeah, part of it.
And we're working. I'm trying to get you more full time, but you obviously have more stuff going.
Yeah, and then I also work for another production company, which we'll get into as well, details and stuff, called Red 5 Productions. Cool. With my mentor Andrew, and then being a videographer mainly for him, and. Then it's pretty much when it comes to videography is there. And then I have I feel like I'm really blessed to have 2 production companies where I have a nice solid foundation, and then I can freelance sometimes on the side and stuff if I don't have a lot of
still have
stuff.
That flexibility.
Yeah,
it kind of takes away the famine side of the feast and famine.
Exactly.
To have that consistent work coming in. So we're stoked to have you at Tyson Media. I keep telling you each time we do a shoot, it's man, thank you so much. You're a good hang on set.
Of course.
You're a hard worker. You are always trying to think ahead, which is cool. I've noticed that where you're and you're always asking me what I need help with, and sometimes I'm kind of in my head and kind of a jerk and just but you're always there present and what can I help you with? Sometimes I'm just I don't know. I'm stressed out right now. And you chill out the situation. So super cool to have you. What do you do the most of right now as far as filmmaking goes? Editing, videography?
Videography mostly. Cool. Yeah. We can start actually from the beginning and stuff, right? The way I kind of got into filmmaking was actually through editing.
Nice. That's the same route I took.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think that's, to me, whenever I have young aspiring people who want to become, full-time in this type of creative space, I always just...
did you roll an audio? Holy crap. I'm sorry.
All good.
I forgot it was back there. I'm we forgot about it, dude. Holy crap. We've been having some audio issues, everybody. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Wow, Howie, I'm really sorry I just cut you off, but I had a heart attack.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Hey, XLR cables. Sometimes you can buy crappy XLR cables, and if anyone's been listening to this podcast, they've noticed a little bit of echo, and it's super annoying. We've been trying to fix it, so we moved the mics back here. Anyway, sorry. Anytime you're talking to someone that wants to be a filmmaker, you encourage them to edit.
Edit, yeah. And the way that I was taught by my mentors and stuff is being an editor helps you learn the foundation of storytelling. And so you can always, and this is a phrase that I've learned a lot, is film with the edit in mind.
Totally.
And so as you get repetitions on how to edit and stuff like that, you can know how to craft like a story, where like the rising action is the resolution, climax and all that stuff. And you can start incorporating that while you're filming.
Yeah.
At that point, the way I kind of see it is, if it's a lot better for someone who is not the greatest videographer but is an amazing editor. Like clients would love that a lot more than if you were a really talented filmmaker but not a very good editor.
Yeah.
Because
you're speaking like a director.
Yeah.
Because the director, if you're a good editor, you're going to be a good director because you're trying to tell a story. And
interesting. Okay.
But also as a filmmaker director, because when you're filming, you're also directing, especially if you're a one-man show. You're editing while you're shooting, so it's like, well, that wide can't go to that wide because that'll be a jump cut. I need to add in some close-ups and some filler content, depending on what you're shooting.
Right.
So you're thinking like a director.
I love that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So good editors are great directors. So let's get you to some direct some stuff.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. And so, but my journey really just doesn't start there. If I wanted to go and like take a step back and stuff, when I first like started was actually in college, when I first actually got like the passion for this industry.
So nothing before that?
No,
did you,
nothing.
Watch movies and love them? Did anything inspire you at all? It just like happened in high school.
Well, I love movies and stuff like that, right? I grew up. So I was born in Peru, right? And then my parents moved here to the U.S. when I was around 4 years old. And when I was 10 years old, my parents got divorced. And
Dude,
so,
me too.
Yeah?
I was 10, yeah.
Okay. Were you the oldest in the family and stuff?
Yeah.
Too?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Nice. I have 2 younger sisters, but also sorry. 1 younger brother, 3 younger sisters. But my youngest is from a different marriage. That's why.
Okay, nice.
So yeah. But yeah, we're the oldest.
Yeah.
Both had to deal with divorce at 10 years old. Oh, that'll cause some trauma.
Oh, totally.
At that age.
Yeah,
it's like that 9 to 12-year-old range is like vulnerable.
It's true. And bless my dad, he did the best he could, to help us with the resources that he had at the time and stuff. And a lot of the times when they had like joint custody and stuff, a lot of the times when we spent time with him would actually be going to the movies.
Oh, cool.
And this is the time where there wasn't assigned seating, and so we would go like on a Saturday at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we would theater hop.
Oh, cool. While you're in there.
Stuff like that while I was in there and stuff. And so I guess early on like that was like the development and stuff, but
you never saw that as like,
I didn't think this. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be like an actual career and stuff like that. Like low-key, I actually thought I was working at a movie. Like I thought that would be really cool, like first job and stuff like that, like serving popcorn or something like that.
Working at the movie theater.
Working at the movie theaters, yeah. But the first kind of inkling of wanting to like fantasizing about doing this was actually thanks to a college professor that I had. I went to BYU, Idaho, up in good old Rexburg.
When were you there?
I was there from 17 to 2020.
My sisters went there. They may have been there around that time.
Okay, yeah.
Any Hendersons?
Maybe. That's a common name.
No kidding. So,
but
nothing in high school either?
No, nothing in high school.
Just college?
Yeah, just college.
Cool.
Yeah, I know a lot of videographers and filmmakers were always like, like I inherited like my camera from my parents and stuff, or they picked up a camera at a very young age and they started like filming and stuff. Like my parents never really did something like that. I have very limited photos of me like in my childhood and stuff. And it wasn't because like we were like, we were like poor and stuff like that, but like my parents came from Peru where like technology around that time wasn't as advanced and was only limited to like pretty wealthy people. And by the time that we moved to the US, all they had to do was just work and stuff.
Cool.
And so we had like several like good times and stuff, but like it wasn't never like, I have some pictures and stuff, but not a whole lot. But going back to college, there was a professor of mine. His name is Rick Davis.
Okay.
And he was the one that introduced me to art in general. He started teaching me about the Renaissance era. and he introduced me to Rembrandt, and then he introduced me to like lighting, and how Rembrandt lighting was used for like a painter who was really well known in the Renaissance era, you know. And he taught me a lot about like the different mediums of like music, classical music, rock, hip hop, and
what was this class?
Revolution. Humanities.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's a general elective
arts
that you get and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's required for class and stuff. And I was just completely fascinated by it.
All the arts.
That's
cool.
Yeah. We got into filming, and then we also got into photography as well. And one of the assignments was actually take pictures of like your daily life.
Nice.
You know, what do you like to do and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. But then I graduated in 2020, so that was the pandemic and stuff, and I was kind of a lost at that point because I originally went to college for physical therapy.
Why is that so? Everybody.
I know. Josh is the same way.
Josh,
he did like medical school.
Carter, Parker, they all were like, I'm going to be a physical therapist or going to medical school.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why is that staring? Everyone to filmmaking. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
But the thing that for me that kind of stopped me was one was my junior year of college was when they changed their requirements for physical therapy. Before you needed a bachelor's degree to go to a PT school. Now you needed a master's degree, and they only grandfathered in the seniors.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that was like extra schooling and extra money that my family and I didn't really have. And at this time, I was seeing a really special young lady.
Yeah.
Her name is Christina. And she was the one that first pushed me into being a videographer.
And how did she see that in you? What were you doing that?
Yeah, so she was part of the friend group and stuff. And she didn't ever appear like any of the vlogs and stuff. I met her that's a picture of her right there. She came into my life June or July of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was like a year and a half before I would graduate and stuff. And for her would be 6 months after she graduated. So she graduated December of 2019.
Okay, cool.
And stuff. And we immediately became really good friends. And we started dating and getting to know each other. And November was when we actually had like our first date. I knew that this girl was someone who was really special. Unfortunately, she was going to graduate the next month, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
Where was she heading back to?
She studied business management.
Okay.
And she got a really good job at LinkedIn.
Cool.
Working at San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
So she had a really nice job and stuff. Like, she even got like a company car. She got an Audi. And so like her life was set right after college, you know? Which was amazing. And she was very entrepreneurial mindset. And that's one thing that I really loved about her. February of 2020 was when she was diagnosed with cancer for the very first time.
That was 2020?
Yeah, February 21 of 2020.
Pretty close after.
Yeah.
Became friends or graduated, whatever it was.
She graduated December of 2019. She moved to San Francisco, and then she worked at LinkedIn for probably like a month and a half. And then she was diagnosed with cancer on February of that 2020.
Right after she graduated.
Yeah, so right after she graduated, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And the way I kind of tell like my story with her and stuff is, that's her, have you seen the movie A Walk to Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. To me, I'm like, that's like Spark Note version of the story of my life with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the character in the movie actually was diagnosed with leukemia.
Okay.
And stuff. And she changed my life as much as, you know, that character changed, you know, made an impact on his life and stuff. At this time, we became really good. Like, we started developing a lot more feelings and relationships and stuff. And so officially, like, there wasn't like a specific date of like when, you know, her and I were together and stuff. It just happened to be like naturally and stuff.
Yeah.
So this picture was taken sometime in October when she beat cancer for the first time.
Wow.
And we were still keeping in touch and stuff like that from February to October. Like, we would FaceTime each other almost every day, start texting. And at this point in our life, like, we were just head over heels for each other, and we were thinking about getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And however, we thought that it was probably relatively like too soon to, you know, do everything with like the pandemic and stuff like that. And so we figured probably like when the borders were closed, because she was living in Canada now.
Oh,
at this time. Yeah. Because she's from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. She handled it with so much grace. And yeah, so October, she beat it for the very first time. And that's when we were in discussion of potentially getting married.
Yeah.
And we wanted to take our time, but that was when the first discussion of like marriage was to the table and stuff. And then unfortunately, the cancer came back exactly a year when she was diagnosed for the first time. Wow. So February 21st of 2021 was when the cancer came back.
Wow.
The shocking news that gave me just wrecked me. Yeah, you know, to think that like I was just thinking about marrying this girl, and now there's underlying quote official date that maybe, you know, she might be leaving.
That's crazy.
You know, and yeah, she called me with tears in her eyes, just you know, with that news. And she basically said like, Howie, I am really grateful for the time that we've had together and stuff. Like, if this is too much for you and you want to, you know, break up, I totally get it. Like, the cancer world is like something that is
just like going through this by herself.
Yeah, she's going through it by herself.
Decisions.
Yeah, you know, and the thing that I was happy about was it wasn't her decision to make.
Yeah,
it was my decision.
Yeah,
and I knew that there was something that I needed to learn from her.
Yeah,
you know, and well, for one, that I loved her. That was pretty obvious, you know, and that. I don't know. At this point, like I say this, take this with a grain of salt, but I ended up marrying her, and it was the most stupidest decision that I've ever made. And the reason why I say that is because people do stupid things when they're in love.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd do it all over again if I had to.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I don't regret marrying her.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why I say that it was stupid and like foolish, is because, when I moved back to my house, because the pandemic and stuff, like the university shut down and stuff like that, I was working with my mom in her small business while I was in my last semester of college. And 7 days later, I said goodbye to my mom, packed up all my things, and headed to Canada.
Yeah.
So that on February 27th, I would meet her for the very first time since college.
Wow. So you guys have just been having a long distance.
Yeah, it was a long distance relationship. And we got married that same day.
Really?
And stuff, yeah.
So within 1 week.
Yeah, within just a 1 week, and that was just a picture of us in our wedding day. Still living in Canada, and we kind of decided, I'm like, you know what, like, let's move to the US where we can have a second opinion, you know. And at this time, we were living off of the government, so they paid for like our housing, food, and stuff like that, which was really, really nice, because I basically married her and I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Hence the stupid thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and
you
like,
just jumped 2 feet in.
Yeah, 2 feet in, like not knowing what it is and stuff, you know.
Hey.
Yeah. So
we'll make you do crazy things.
Oh, totally. And so when we moved back to Houston, or we moved to Texas, because MD Anderson was the hospital that we kind of chose, that we felt like it was like the right fit. I was back in the US, and this was the time where I had, you know what, $12 to my name.
No way.
Yeah. Luckily we were living off of her GoFundMe and stuff, but I didn't like the feeling of that.
Yeah.
You know, to know that I am the husband, you know, I'm technically considered to be the provider and stuff, and we're living off of the GoFundMe and like donations of other people, which I'm really grateful and stuff, right? But now it was like the opportunity for me to actually like step up and find a job. And so I did for a sales company called ClearLink. But I would be working from home. They had amazing medical benefits, which was what we needed. Yeah. And this is kind of like the first step for me into how to negotiate and stuff, and how to sell, the sales process. Yeah. And this will tie into kind of like the filmmaking journey and stuff later on. My wife, Christina, told me, she's like, okay, well, how do you want to support this family? Do you want to do sales or like, what do you want to do? And this is the introduction to filming, you know. I'm like, you know what, like, I really loved my time in college when I was filming for vlogs and stuff, you know, capturing stories like that and memories. And I just wanted to take a dabble at it, you know, like.
Well, what was it during this, like, were you seeing something online? Like, why was that your first option after sales?
Yeah, that was my first
Who's
filming.
inspiring you? Yeah, to go down that route, because it's you have to kind of see the outcome of going into that job. Like, you got to see the dollar signs. Like, who were you watching or seeing that?
Yeah, I was watching Parker Walbeck.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Full-Time Filmmaker crew. And I saw them back in college, so a lot of the inspirations for us and stuff like that was actually pulled from the YouTube channel and just watching them, David Dobrik as well and stuff. It wasn't a dream of mine to ever be a filmmaker growing up, you know, and I just wanted to take a shot at it, you know, like, because we were living in the pandemic and stuff. There was a big push, I think, as a society to create our own businesses.
Totally.
And so I kind of wanted
realize
to be part of that movement.
Everyone's preaching security in a job, and then you realize how unsecure that is when something like that happens. And then if you have a skill that you've developed and you can sell that skill with sales skills, that's as secure as you can be. It's up to you. It's on you versus someone else.
Totally. And that was the thing, like, sales was the first high income skill that I learned, right? And then I wanted to dabble into video editing and filming and stuff like that. And so she said, okay, if you want to do this, I want to support you 110%. And so we invested actually some of the GoFundMe to purchasing the Full-Time Filmmaker membership.
Cool.
Which I was very, very against.
Yeah.
Right. Because that money was definitely, like, mostly, you know, for, like, food and for her medical bills and stuff like that, you know, our basic needs. Right. Like,
she was investing in the future, though. She saw that. That's cool that she did that for you.
Oh, totally. You know, and so while I was taking care of her working, I was also learning and taking a bunch of just the materials that they would teach and stuff. And I didn't have a camera at this point. Like, I was literally just, like, taking notes as if I was in a college classroom kind of a thing and stuff, and, like, learning what composition means, leading lines, aperture, f-stop kind of a thing, you know, just like the basic things and stuff. Now comes the sad part where we start getting more serious into her health, and there was this common protocol where if there was something that was out of the ordinary, we would have to immediately go to the ER. And we've done that once or twice at this point and stuff, right? And on the third time, I kind of thought of it as, like, nonchalantly, you know, like, okay, this is something that has become repetitive, and I figured that she would come back, you know? And so she left my house to go to the ER on June 15th. And then the following day, I was at my lunch break, and my brother-in-law, who was in Canada, called me and said, hey, you need to go to the ER right now. I don't think Chrissy's going to make it. And my heart sunk.
Yeah, and this is in Texas. How did you know that?
Texas. The reason how he knows that is because my mother-in-law was actually staying with us for a short period of time.
Okay.
And she accompanied my wife to the hospital.
Gotcha.
And stuff. And I saw some of the text messages that I wasn't able to get to while I was working and stuff, of my mother-in-law and stuff. And so she reached out to Nathan and stuff, and that's how he got a hold of me, by just calling me. And so I immediately just got an Uber and went straight to the hospital. Fortunately, one of the doctors, or nurses, was walking past and overheard the conversation. And he's like, wait, are you here for Christina?
Come with me.
And I said, yes. And I said, perfect. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, and he took me to the ICU room where she was in a non-induced coma.
Oh, man.
The head doctor came to me and said, hey, are you Howard? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, cool. We need you to make a decision. Either we pull the plug now, or we try to resuscitate her, but she only has a 1% chance of survival.
Wow.
What do you choose? And I just go, whoa. Let's back up here. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, you just got there.
Yeah, I just got there, and she just gave me like that news, like flat out, you know? Because I didn't know this and stuff, but when you're on the verge of death at the hospital, like, it's not the decision to the doctor to end the life. It had to be the next of kin, which, because we were legally married, it was me and not my stepmom or anything, or my mother-in-law and stuff. And so, and I was 25 years old at the time. I had to sit with it, you know, and the doctors basically just told me, yeah, like, she came in and we noticed that leukemia started forming, showing up in form of like liquid on her lungs. And it started making her way to the heart and going up to her brain as well. And every single time we try to run blood samples and run it through a test just to see what was going on, the blood cells would die off before it even reached the machine to actually like diagnose and see what was going on a molecular level. And because 3 organs were failing, there was really nothing that they could do. You know, they could preserve her life as much as they want, trying to see what the issue is and stuff. But they already ran through, like, I think they said like 5 or 6 rounds of blood. Ultimately, a bunch of, like, obviously I asked like a bunch of 20 questions, right? But the most important one at the end was like, okay, before I make this decision, I just need to know, like, do you feel like you've done the most you probably could in trying to save my wife's life? And they said yes. Like, there was a doctor or a nurse that was by her side since 3 o'clock in the morning the following day, kind of a thing, you know. And that was kind of like the gut-wrenching feeling. I'm like, okay, like, I know what I have to do.
Can't even imagine having to make that decision. Did her mom have a part in it? Like,
she was approved of it, you know.
So she left your house and you had like, you were just like, she'll be back.
Yeah.
And that was the last time you saw her.
That was last. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Technically, I did, right? Because when you're in a non-induced coma, like, they can still hear you, but they're just not receptive and stuff. And so, like, I said my final words to her, just saying like how grateful I am for the time that we had together, and how much I love her and how much I'm gonna miss her. You know.
And how hard that she's sitting there listening to you.
Yeah.
And you're just not able to get a response.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of sucked about it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, because I wasn't there when she was awake. I don't know why I keep saying stepmom. My mother-in-law said that, like, her last words before she was on a non-induced coma was, "Am I dying?" And that was just so gut-wrenching feeling, you know, just like,
so sad, like, think that they have to go through that. And it's like,
and she was 26 years old when she passed, like, super young.
So young.
You know, and she was kind of a content creator herself, actually. Yeah. She would post a lot about her story of her cancer journey and stuff. And she had visions of overcoming it. Like, she always thought that she was going to make it.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to not.
Yeah, at 26 years old, she's like, I'm not going to give up my life just yet. You know, I just got married.
Yeah, we got my whole life to spend.
Exactly, you know. And so it was very tragic to see the way that she, you know, passed away and stuff. Because she was the one that envisioned herself being on podcasts or being on TED Talks and talk about her story and how unique it was, you know, being a cancer patient at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I never envisioned that for myself. Like, I was an introvert, you know.
Yeah.
I was shy being in front of a camera, and I, which was reason why I loved actually being a videographer and stuff, because you're behind the camera.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything, you know. Yeah. Now in this day and age, you kind of have to now.
Yeah.
If you want to promote your business and get yourself out there because of social media and stuff, you know. But she was definitely the first one that kind of took me out of my shell, and actually made me think that this is actually something that was a very unique story, you know. And so yeah, she passed away, and my family came in and started unpacking started packing all the things that we had, and then started to head back to Utah. So here, and I've been living here ever since. Around this time, actually, with Full-Time Filmmaker was when Landon Bytheway actually left Full-Time Filmmaker and started doing his own business. And the way I started actually, because I've been following him and, the stories and stuff like that all around and stuff, and he became one of like the first like mentor.
Before you get to that,
yeah.
I want to ask the question: before your wife passed, was there a conversation? Because obviously you married her knowing that she had cancer. That she had what was the percentage? It was like 7%.
7%
chance of living.
Yeah.
You guys had conversations, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Of her passing. Of what were the conversations like when you talked about being a filmmaker? Because it sounds like she's the one that really got you into this career, pushed you along. Like, what were those conversations like? Was she like, if I pass, I need you to do this. Like, I want you to be what I want, basically do what I want to do, which is what you're saying, being on podcasts and things like that.
Yeah, she never pushed me really only thing that she pushed me is to be successful in whatever industry that is, right? If it was filming at the time, right, then she would support that 100%, Yeah, a lot of it just had to do with just her cancer journey. Like, rarely talked about kind of like my filmmaking journey. But she knew that I was ambitious and a hard worker and stuff like that. So
and I guess the other reason I asked is because you used the GoFundMe to go get that. So it's like she's kind of like helping you.
Yeah, she was technically like my first investor.
So exactly. So like you almost feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, like not indebted, but just feel like you need to carry on doing this because she invested in you.
For sure. That was a big motivating factor, after she died. I made a promise to myself that I would live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to know that like most people get a sense of what life actually means when they're really, really close to death. And I had front row seat basically, in that. And yeah, tomorrow is never promised to us, and I try to live my life as fulfilled as possible, even though like it is when she passed away, it was really hard for me to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And everything, like I was struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts, of wanting to be with her, but I knew that that's not what she wanted.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she wanted me to continue living. Yeah. And I kind of adopted this mantra where like you either die with memories or you die with dreams. And I choose to die with memories.
Totally.
So yeah. Then going back to full-time filmmaking.
Landon
Bytheway, he started doing kind of his own thing on the side, and invested or created a company called Studio. And he was looking for people to hire, but at this point I didn't think I was qualified to ever work for him, ever. But I wanted to be in close proximity with him, and so I said, what could I do and stuff? And I thought, I'm like, you know what, maybe I could be a model, like in front of the camera, like I'm brown and I can people in marketing like diversity and stuff like that, right? And so there was an option where there was like a last minute model apparently like canceled, or they needed some more models and stuff like that, and he posted on his IG story, and I said, hey, like let me go ahead and do that, and it was for a company called Zugo. They made like electric bikes and stuff, and this was gonna be like at the Capitol, and he basically, so here's a picture right there of me modeling for Zugo. We were up in the Capitol and stuff. And this was kind of like the first interaction that I had with Landon and stuff, and he heard about my story and stuff like that. And at this time he was also founding another company called Rap, where they just made like stickers that you would apply on your laptop and stuff. And I wanted to support him and stuff, and there was a problem with the shipping and stuff, and so he basically said like, hey, can you just come to my house and stuff and like pick it up. And that's when I actually told him my story. And he was impacted by it so much, and it was still relatively new where the GoFundMe for Christina was still live. And I told him that I had to take like no, what did I say? I said that I was starting to be wanted to pursue this filmmaking journey. I didn't know if I wanted to like go back to school and do physical therapy at this time, or go and do college, or do filming. But I'm deciding to do the filming a little bit, you know, more heavily. And one thing that was really nice about him was he gave me $100.
Did he?
And he posted it. Yeah, he just sent it to me through the GoFundMe.
Wow.
And through that, I was able to buy like my first camera.
Nice.
And it was a Canon M50.
Wow.
And stuff. So it was just like a tiny mirrorless camera. And I think I have a picture of that one as well. We can probably like pull it up and stuff.
I've never heard of that camera.
It's okay. It's a very dinky like mirrorless camera and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like less than $1,000. I think with the creator kit and everything like that was like $700 like on Amazon and stuff. But for those who are like there's a lot more advanced cameras now. With it, you know, than that one. But I still have that one to this day. Kind of have it as like a memory. You know?
I still have my first camera. It was a Canon 70.
70, okay.
Yeah.
DSLR.
I only took... I know actually I had my first DSLR. I had a Sony EX3, which was like a big old beefy camera with like digital zoom.
Oh, okay.
Fixed lens.
Yeah.
It's like a broadcast camera.
It's cool. So yeah, like that's the camera that kind of started it all. And the thing that I was really fortunate at this time, right, was at the height of this moment was the era of TikTok was booming, and influencers were starting to become somewhat more of a thing. Yeah. And at this point, I started to be a little bit, well, I wouldn't say like the best videographer, but definitely was able to pitch my services to different content creators at the time. Who were still using their phone to create content on TikTok and stuff. And I just said, hey, let me elevate your content, you know, by just offering kind of like my services, you know. And there was one content creation team, they're called the Black Menaces, and they were so that's one picture, that's Sebastian right there. And this was when we were actually filming for the Pride Festival in 2022. And that was me with the Ronin. There's my iPhone that was right there connected, so I can do like both. And their whole thing was just to focus a lot on diversity, especially on college campuses. They were at BYU and stuff, and so and I was really impacted by the stories that they like to share and stuff like that, and offered my services, and we're still really good friends to this day and stuff. But there was another one, so that was one story, and then another story, one of this guy who actually became really big. His name is James So, and you can picture him. This was one in our meeting and stuff, but he became really popular doing mystery boxes. Okay. So he would go to different he's like $1 or mystery gift, you know.
I totally remember him.
Yeah. And I met him before, you know, that kind of era and stuff. And it was really fun getting to work with some of these creators and stuff. And in one particular shoot, I was hired to do a behind the scenes for a campaign where the Black Menaces were actually going to be models. And there was already another big production company that was already there. I was just kind of like a little side project and stuff for them. That they wanted to capture. And at this time I only had just my camera and a gimbal, and that was pretty much it. Like I had one memory card that was like 36 gigabytes or something like that, like 60 or something like that, just very low entry. And I was using the camera audio for the camera and stuff. And the people that were actually running the actual production shoot, who now became my mentor and stuff, kind of gave me some of their gear and stuff. They're like, okay, you need this mic, you need this, and stuff like that. Like, here you go. You know, we know everything, kind of a thing, you know. And they gave me kind of like tidbits on like the position and the angles of where I wanted to capture something. And something came inside me where I'm like, you know what? I need to ask them to see if they offer like any mentorship and stuff. And luckily one of them actually did. They're like, you know what? Here's my number. Give me a call and let's set up an appointment, you know, and let me see what you're all about, you know.
Very cool.
And the thing that surprised him the most was that I answered him within less than 24 hours. Got a date set up and stuff like that to call and stuff like that, you know. And I thought that was really telling, because he said like I would say that to a lot of people who wanted to be my mentee, but they would wait like a day or two and stuff like that. Like I was like probably like the fastest response and stuff, which I was really hungry to learn, you know. And the thing that he promised me, because he was a producer, was that I can't promise you that you'll be really good. I can't teach you a whole lot of videography and filmmaking because I'm a producer. The thing that I can promise you is always that I have a lot of connections to videographers, and like if that's the route that you want to take and stuff like that, like I have different connections because I've worked with a plethora of videographers, right? And whatever you want to niche you want to choose to dabble into, like I got you, kind of a thing, right? But like in this mentorship, 10% of it is going to be dictated to like videography and filmmaking. The other 90% is going to be about personal development, and psychology and stuff. And growing up, I was always fascinated by personal development. And I think just because of like the divorce and stuff like that, like I just always had this curiosity of like, why do people do the things that they do? You know. And
I can relate, and I'm sure it does stem from the divorce stuff. Like what causes people to do those things, because I'm super into just the whole guru / self-help development people.
And I'm not the only person. Like I resonate a lot with like Tony Robbins as well, because he also came with the same upbringing and the same idea of like, why do people do what they do? You know, he tells a story of where his dad his family grew up very, very poor, and there was a Thanksgiving.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And keep telling it.
Where like there wasn't enough money to actually have Thanksgiving, right? And there was a knock on the door, and there was a stranger that went in and wanted to offer. He just had like
a turkey,
bunch of bunch of like Thanksgiving goodies and stuff like that, you know, and food and stuff. And he was really, really excited, you know, that he got this. But his dad was like very, very angry, you know, and he was thinking like, why are you so mad? Why are you so mad about something that's really, really good? And I actually got to be at one of his events. Last year in November was
that dude shaped my life. Have you ever heard the oh man, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like early 2000s. He did a program, put it on tape, with CDs at the time, and I would listen to that thing every day, and it was so long that I would just, you know, listen to it for 30 minutes when I drove, and then for years.
Was this when you were with Supertramp? Or?
No, this was way before that. So like affirmations, all that stuff. That's what so much of why I did a lot of things, like the vision board, all that stuff came from what he taught. And then I actually, there's a interesting thing he has you write down like your ideal partner. And he's like, okay, I want you to write down everything that you would love to have in a partner. So I did, and it was like a list of like 40 things. And then he's like, okay, now circle the ones that are absolute musts, things that, you know, like non-negotiables. And obviously there's other things you can do without. So I went and circled everything. You guys, I am not kidding you. I still have the card.
That's cool.
And I've showed it to my wife. I mean, dude, I had some pretty like specific things, like even this is gonna sound bad, skinny wrists. I like that was attractive.
Nice.
Just because I thought it was, you know, just skinny wrists.
That wasn't one of the things you circled, right?
It wasn't one of the things I circled. And basically she is to a T everything I wrote, And
That's amazing.
And there's some really funny ones that I didn't circle that came later. Okay. You can imagine. That I was like, sweet, now you're the perfect woman in my eyes. Yeah, no, super funny. Anyway, that's a total sidetrack thing from Tony Robbins, but dude shaped my life, and it sounds like he did a lot for you too.
Yeah, he did. You know, I resonate a lot with him because we kind of have like the similar upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, and this was kind of the journey that I had when it comes to not only like negotiating, but also how to use language.
Yeah.
One thing that Tony Robbins actually does and he's really good at is called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the first introduction to it with Andrew, my mentor.
Yeah.
When I was working for his production company now at Red 5, like he took a risk on me and started taking me under his wings, and I started learning from him. And this is another advice that I would give to young filmmakers and stuff like that, is to find a mentor.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if I wasn't with, you know, mentors in my life and stuff. Yep. And if this podcast does like anything, right, it's just the importance of highlighting mentors and stuff.
And hopefully this podcast becomes like a mentorship program for people. Yeah. You're mentoring anyone that's listening right now. Yeah. It's your own journey.
No, for sure. And so like there's a quote that I really like that says that I stand on the shoulders of giants that stood before me. And I give credit not only to my hard work and ambition, right, first and foremost, but also the mentors that I had, you know, like my wife Christina, Landon, which we're going to talk about here pretty soon, you know, Andrew, and just now you know.
I hope I can live up to the other guys that you're standing on the shoulders of.
Oh no, you're great. The thing that it was really fascinating, right, is that I like to think of it kind of like a family tree, you know, and we'll talk about Landon here in a second, right? But I was mentored by him, right? Who was mentored by Parker, who was mentored by Devin Supertrim, right?
Yep.
And now I'm being mentored by you, who's
mentored by Devin.
Yep. You know, and so I kind of see that like Landon was like technically like my dad, then Parker was like my grandfather or something.
That's like that. And then great granddad is Devin Supertramp.
Yeah. Devin Supertramp. Never met him in person or anything like that. Yeah, never. Yeah.
Nice.
I hope to shake hands with him and said, hey, like because you mentored you know, Parker, and because Parker mentored Landon.
It is like the family tree. He's like, and I think in this world, this kind of space, Devin is like at the bottom. He's like the trunk. Yeah. Honestly, in Utah especially.
Oh, totally.
But there's obviously a lot of other people that came before him. But just when it came to like social media, shooting everyone that I've had in, and it's obviously something to do with my circle of people. Yeah. Everyone watched him, and then it's cool to see who he's affected, and it's just like that. Like he affected me, and then now I'm hopefully affecting other people, and other people that don't work with me anymore now are going out, and it's just helping just spread the message of filmmaking.
It's true, and I'm really grateful to be part of like this sacred lineage.
So
I guess I don't know, right? I hope to contribute, you know, somewhat, you know, of what I do and stuff. But yeah, like the main message I guess for this podcast and stuff is just the importance of mentors, and really how grateful I am to have them in my life and stuff. So going back to Red 5 Productions, right? We actually have a photo actually of the crew of Red 5, and let's see, there it is. So Andrew's the one on the left. He was the mentor who took a chance on me and stuff, and that's my buddy Calvin. I've known him for 10 years and stuff, and so he is also just an amazing storyteller and world traveler as well. And then there's me. And this was kind of the crew that started the whole thing with Red 5 and stuff. And we're still going strong. I'm still part of their production company and stuff. Yeah. And at first I was assigned to be editor. While I was editing and stuff, I was also doing a lot of like personal development and stuff, and so that helped me a lot with my mental health in how I could, you know, overcome this grief and the pain that I had, you know, of losing my wife and stuff. And the thing that I learned in my life, is that grief is just all of the unexpressed love that I wasn't able to share with my wife because of the limited time that we had together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter for me. It was for me, it was exactly 3 months and 20 days that I had with her.
Crazy. That's so short.
Yeah, it was so short.
Yeah.
And it was short, but then also it was beautiful because we were present in the moment.
Yeah.
Those 3 months and 20 days felt like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were just so, present. And that was one thing that I learned about, just life is just, sometimes you got to be fully present in the moment, to enjoy it, And another thing that I started doing was just reading a lot of personal development books. One of my favorite books to this day is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That has become my personal Bible when it comes to how to deal with people and how to communicate. And then when it comes to negotiation, I really love the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
I haven't read that one.
Yeah, that one's really good. That the author was retired FBI hostage negotiator.
Muy cool.
Right, so he had to negotiate people's lives, essentially, And the biggest key takeaway for me, for him, was mirroring. And so essentially just mimicking people's facial expressions and body movements and stuff like that. And then something that he calls tactical empathy. I think there's this is probably a controversial take and stuff, but I think that manipulation can be used as a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, when I say that to people, sometimes they raise an eyebrow and stuff like that, what do you mean,
Yeah.
And I think mostly because they take it into relationships and stuff like that, hey, this guy was super manipulative and stuff like that. I'm in that aspect, yes, totally. Narcissists and stuff like that, 100% manipulation, right? But the way that we can influence it and stuff like that is, just to influence and to motivate someone, you're using some sense of manipulation in that aspect and stuff. And so, and that's what I learned a lot, was just how to, that the book teaches actually, is just how to get people to align with your way of thinking, right? And couple that with the whole model of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, was just how to use language and stuff. So something one example would be from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, is to get them to think of your way of thinking, right? How do you do that, right? In NLP, there's a principle that teaches you can say the phrase of would you consider XYZ, right? Because you're giving the power of the decision making to the other person. But the thing that they don't know is that you listed the examples that you wanted to suggest. And so the person says, let me think about that. Yeah, let's do it. You're giving all of the credit of that decision making to that other person, right? So you're saving kind of their ego, or
Yeah, it's the best way to manage relationships with clients.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's a very feedback driven world we're in, and
it is.
You want to stand up for what you think the video or the content should look like. So you're yeah, we like that idea.
Yeah.
Here's what we think. What do you think? And then they're oh yeah, we like that idea. It's it's manipulation, but it is done in a way to kind of be cohesive, just on the same page.
Yeah, it's all collaboration. Yeah. And that's something that I really like about, I think it has to do a lot with integrity. And that was one core value of mine that I've adopted when I was working and being with Andrew and stuff, is integrity. And actually a big reason why I wanted to work with you. One of the first days that I actually met you, I was looking at the shirts that you have hung up on the door and stuff, and I was looking at one of them, right, and it said integrity.
Yep.
And it's a
big piece.
It's a big piece.
Yeah,
totally. And I think that it's something that's very rare to find sometimes.
Those especially.
Yeah. It's a what's the word?
We're very selfish.
Yeah,
looking out for number one versus the real success is how many people you can help.
Yeah, it's true. And like, I don't know how many viewers are listening, right, that are in Utah and stuff, but one thing I like about the culture here in Utah is just, um, when I see other videographers and stuff, I don't see them as my competitors, even though technically they are.
Yeah.
You know, I see them more as like collaborators.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's mostly kind of like a Utah thing. Because when I hear you talk about people like in New York or Miami or Los Angeles, it's very cutthroat. It's like a dog-eat-dog world. You have to know someone to get into these nice places and stuff like that.
And what I've found too is like I had Mitch in here, and he's probably one of my main competitors, what we talked about. And it's like, we're not competitors. We're both doing the same thing. And in fact, if there's so much work out there, and it's true, you know, some people are going to hire you for this and hire the other for this, but then ultimately, like, you want to be able to send work to people if you can't do it. And so it's like, you find the right people to do that, and you start to refer people to them.
Totally.
It just lifts all ships, you know?
Yeah. I love that phrase. Yeah. Totally. And, so yeah, the time with, Red 5 and stuff, was really just amazing, and obviously still in it and stuff. But then I kind of, that was my full-time job. And then as I was starting to be more involved with Landon and kind of under his mentorship, we would actually go and have ramen every once in a while and stuff. And so I would talk to him about kind of like my filmmaking journey and where I was at and stuff like that, and had like kind of like a personal like one-on-one time with him, which was really nice. And this was at the start where I wanted to actually, no, what do I want to say? Can we pull up the picture of me and Landon? Just wanted to see that right there.
Nice.
Yep, him and I and stuff. And the thing that I just really liked about this particular like mentorship, right, was that I had recognition. I had clout. Yeah. Essentially, right? To know that I was working with Landon Bytheway and Connor Dillon, which is another big one, right? And the whole studio space and stuff like that. I was able to not only have clout, but also be connected and influenced by other creators as well. There's another picture that I want to share here of like some of the other creators that I was able to meet and stuff. One of them was Jay. Wow, what was it? One of them was oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. I know the face. One of the people that I really got to know and really enjoy is Short Stash, Garrett King. There's a video that I have of her and stuff right there. Yeah, so he's the one. So there's Jayhawk, then there's Short Stash, then there's Landon, and then Tom Nosky. Yeah, and stuff, you know. And just being surrounded by just these high quality humans, and just learning from them, specifically Short Stash. He has an eye for color. Yeah. A fun fact about me, I'm actually colorblind. Oh, nice. Yeah. You and Josh. I know, me and Josh are the same. Yeah. And he was really fascinated by that too, because like he's like, how are you video editor and you know, colorblind and stuff. And so for me, obviously I heavily rely on like scopes and all that stuff, you know, to make the color corrections and stuff. And then color grading is obviously just more like artistic and stuff, and so I'll throw in like a LUT and stuff and try to like make it like the best I could with like not very subtle, you know. Totally. Yeah. Well, I'll be easy on you. Yeah, it'd be easy on you. I was pretty hard on Josh for a while, and he was like, I'm colorblind. I'm like, why haven't you told me that? I would have been way more chill about you making this red really vibrant. All good. I do have glasses and stuff like that do help me and stuff. Yeah. So I do have that edge. And I do like using the Apple Studio display and stuff, so that also helps with the color calibration with the camera and stuff like that, you know, or the screen, sorry. Yeah. You know, make sure that you actually have accurate colors. But yeah, and then now obviously transitioning to Tyson Media and being, you know, with you, I think all of these mentors that I had in my life were kind of just like stepping stones of like different eras of my journey as a filmmaker. You know, with Christina, it was definitely more of the late night hours of learning the ropes and learning kind of like the basic fundamental skills of what a histogram is, what f-stop, you know, all that stuff. And then with Andrew and Red 5, it was definitely more of like the personal developments and sometimes on the technical side of stuff. And then with Landon, Clout, and then also just how simple he is. I love the way that he, like, there's an example of like that I reached out to him and said, hey, like, I'm really struggling with balancing like kind of the audio on these things, you know, and I had like 5 different things like on I use Premiere Pro, so parametric, or what's it called,
parameter, the equalizer.
The equalizer.
Parameter equalizer.
That one, you know. He would use that, and then he would also use dynamics, put it on a soft compression, and then had a limiter, and that was essentially it. And he was able to get just 2 steps in something that I did like 5 like effects in order for me to get the same result and stuff like that, you know. And it was a really good lesson to know that like sometimes simplicity is like almost always the best.
For sure. And I'm so in line with that. I'm all about being simple, and because I'm not a tech guy, I don't want to go crazy. It's the same reason I still color in Premiere and not DaVinci. Is that it's just
there you go.
It's simple, it looks good, and I don't get too crazy. But yeah, I could totally relate to that.
Totally. And what else I want to say? You
were talking about your stepping stones.
Yeah, the stepping stones. And then with now you and stuff like that, I get to incorporate, you know, almost everything that I learned and stuff, you know, into Tyson Media and stuff. One thing that I really learned from Andrew actually on our shoot with Lace was just being a pleasure to work with. And that was something that I learned like early on. It was like an unfair advantage, or what your unfair advantage is in this industry, right? If there's anything that I learned in the short amount of time that I've been doing this, was definitely know like what makes you different. You know, anybody can pick up a camera and stuff like that, but like what makes you special? And the thing for me that makes me special is just my listening skills, my attention to kind of the emotional detail and stuff. Because I've had this traumatic experience of like losing my wife and stuff like that, I have a new lens when it comes to people who want to be vulnerable online. And I think now we're in an era where we do want a little bit more of that vulnerability, you know, and more of that authenticity is becoming more prevalent in someone who wants to create like a personal brand, or whether you're an influencer or a business, you know, like you want to have some sense of like emotion tied to a product or a story, you know. And then just being a pleasure to work with as well.
That's the main thing. You can't teach that. It's hard to teach. But with you working here now, it's like I'm such a person that doesn't want to micromanage. I kind of let people just jump into things, and I let them fail, and I help them get better or do it differently. And so I try to teach, but I'm also like very like I want people to be hands-on. And I mean, it's the best way to learn, just to get in there, right? Yeah,
hands-on. Also, be honest, you know, like if you forgot to press record, like you gotta, you know,
own up.
Yeah, own up to it.
Never do it again.
Yeah, that's part of the integrity part, you know.
Totally.
Like, and at first it may be scary, you know, to say like, hey, like I messed up on something, you know, like let's go ahead and like redo it, you know. There's always that classic, like, can we do it for safety? You know, like doing that, so like you're hiding the fact of like the reason why something happens. But I think like if you own up to it, you know, it's a lot more honest.
And one of the things Devin would always say, I think I couldn't remember if he got this from his wife. I think he told this to his wife, Megan. Like if an issue happens, like let's say you didn't push record or you broke a camera or something, the reality of the situation is, will this matter in 5 years? And if the answer is no, then it's not worth your time to like care about, right? It's like, obviously it's an issue, figure it out and move on, but it's nothing to dwell on. So that's how I try to look at a lot of the, things that go wrong.
Was he also pretty simple in terms of like videography or like editing stuff? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had, and it's a lot of why I'm the way I am. Like,
I figured that's the same way that Landon's the way he is. It's like the whole simplicity kind of a thing. I don't know.
We had our preset on our Canons to a look, and we added a little contrast, a little bit of saturation, and called it good. Made sure the whites are balanced. Yeah, man, to be as fast as we were, it has to be simple. And I think that's probably the reason a lot of people need to be simple, is because of how fast you need to be nowadays to kind of deliver things. And that's obviously a different niche if you need to do that. There's ones that can go slower, but yeah, I would say he was for sure simple, and it's probably what a lot of people are. I don't think Parker is simple. I feel like he's more...
Maybe.
He's way more attention to detail, way more analytical.
Yeah.
At least based talking to him, it sounds like he'd spend so much time dialing things in and like analyzing, and he loves technology, and
he does.
It's not me.
Yeah. I've met him a handful of times and stuff, and just obviously through Full-Time Filmmaker, and I was there when they did the whole transition from Parker Walbeck having ownership to Landon, and stuff. And so that was really unique to be there at that time and stuff. And I got to tell him kind of like, hey, like I've been following you, for some time now and stuff. And I've always just been really inspired, and thank you, for helping me to get where I am and stuff. And number one thing he says to everybody is just like, thank yourself.
Yeah. You did it. You had to, he gave you the tools, and then you have to actually do something.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it wasn't for me and, my hard work, like I wouldn't be, there with him and stuff. And so, I'm honestly really excited and for this next chapter in my life and stuff. And it doesn't mean that it comes with its challenges, so last month I celebrated my 30th birthday.
Nice.
Knowing that like my wife passed away like 4 years ago and stuff, and it was pretty rough because I'm still living with my mom's house, still single, and never thought that would be my life. And mostly just because society paints it by when you're 30 you have to have your life already figured out and stuff, and I was in one of those low moods and stuff where I was just bawling because this is not the life that I expected to have. And sometimes I feel like I'm a total complete failure because I don't have a house, I don't have a wife, I don't have this picture perfect lifestyle that some of my friends who are still in college and still pursuing kind of that life think that I have. Like a lot of my friends think just because I'm a videographer and I travel, my life was easy and stuff, and sometimes they wish they could have my life and stuff, and I'm like, I lost my wife. I don't know if you want to have my life. It's very hard.
Well, I think it goes into, I think everyone deals with that same thing, and it's just it's a society thing. We like put these expectations on everyone, and especially being in Utah and you being 30, like anywhere else, they're like, no, you're about ready to get married now. You know what I mean? So it's just the comparison is the thief of happiness. And it's like, if that wasn't a thing, it's like your life is exactly the way it needed to be for you and your experiences. And the reality is you're still a baby, dude. 30 years old, and I'm still a baby, which is wild to think about. We still have 40, and the way that the health things are going, like we have 50, 60, maybe even 100 years ahead of us. You know what I mean? So there's so much more, especially in your 30s, that are going to happen from like when I turned 30, I thought I had it figured out, and then I'm 35 now, and it's like I still have so much to do, and I compare myself to people constantly. Parker's a big one I'd compare myself to. We're the same age, and I'm comparing monetarily, but then there's so many other things that he could compare to me, and it's just like we're always comparing, and it's just like if you can find peace in whatever you're doing, that's where you're gonna find joy. And it sounds like through filmmaking you're able to find that joy and that peace, and like find something that you're contributing to society with, and so personally you don't think you should be where you are, but it sounds like career wise, you're super stoked about where you're headed.
Totally, yeah. Because like my birthday's on June 8th, right? And
Yeah.
on June 9th, I had a shoot
Yeah.
up in Park City. And I was filming for an event, and one of the main guest speaker was Richard Branson.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you post that.
Yeah.
First billionaire you've been in a room with.
Yeah. Technically now it's second because I was with Tony Robbins and stuff, but it wasn't
okay.
filming for him. Like it was because I paid to be at that
Yeah.
event and stuff like that, you know.
He probably wasn't a billionaire yet. Do you think he's a billionaire now?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Someone could fact check us.
Yeah. He definitely has a lot of money.
He has the money and stuff. But yeah, Richard Branson for sure, like officially, I know, like
For sure.
billionaire kind of a thing, you know. And being in his presence and stuff like that, and him, you know, spilling the knowledge that he's said and stuff, kind of made me feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Not many people in their 30s can say that they filmed for Richard Branson.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
And stuff, and shook hands with a billionaire.
Yeah, and it's all just about us caring what people think. Like if you didn't
Totally.
care what people thought, then who cares about, you know,
Yeah.
the reality of what you just talked about of like, I feel like I'm a failure. You know what I mean? Like that's only because you care what people think. And we all do. You know, otherwise it's like, oh, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. I think there's a fine line between aspiration and comparison.
Yeah, totally.
To aspire to someone fuels you.
Yeah.
But when you compare to someone, it kills you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
So with all this, where do you see yourself going in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question. And the honest answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think there's beauty in the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, most of my life has just been living in the unknown.
Yeah.
Life knows though.
Mm-hmm.
Life knows. And one of the earliest like lessons that I learned from actually when a client and stuff is when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yep.
And stuff. And so that's kind of the philosophy that I kind of live my life and stuff, you know. Always be a white belt essentially when it comes to videography.
Yep.
You know, there's a philosophy in martial arts that just because you're a black belt, that just means that you mastered the fundamentals at a very advanced level. And so for anybody who's like, you know, I mean, I've only been doing this for like 4 years, you know, so I'm still considered technically like a yellow belt maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you're still a baby.
Yeah, still a baby, you know.
Well, it's interesting that you said that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It's like opposite of what I just told you yesterday on the shoot when I was like, it's interesting to me how every time I feel like I need someone, there's an employee I need, or I need someone to help in this area, they always show up. Like it just seems to be that way. And even for like a month, I was a little bit hopeless. I'm like, oh man, no one's showing up because I had a little bit of turnover here. And then it's the opposite of what you said, where I'm looking for the student, you know what I mean, that I can teach.
Yeah.
And so the teacher's ready.
Mm-hmm.
I want to teach the student now, and then vice versa for you.
Yeah.
You're the student looking for the teacher. So I hope to be a good teacher to you.
Totally.
I hope to teach you more than just videography, and I can teach you some good mindset stuff or just aspirations. But I'm excited to have you on the team, man, and you've been an awesome hang. It's super fun to have you part of the team, and just excited to see where it takes us, and hopefully grow you into the person you want to be, even though you don't know who that is in 5 to 10 years. We'll get you there.
Yeah, the thing for me is just have fun and be happy.
Yeah.
And
that's when good things are going to happen.
Yeah, that's when good things happen.
Enjoy life, be happy, have fun, don't take it too serious, because you're going to basically miss out on life if you are taking it too serious.
True.
One of my favorite sayings is, it's not in the destination, it's the journey, right?
Journey.
Kobe Bryant.
There you go.
That's what it's about. It's the dash, right? In between the dates.
Mm-hmm.
So live it to the fullest.
I love that.
Cool. Well, is there another question I usually ask? Yeah, I knew there was one more. What kind of advice, you've already given so much, and I bet I already know the answer to it. What advice would you give to a young filmmaker that is just starting out, that wants to go down the route that you've gone down?
Oof, that's a great question.
Get a mentor.
Definitely start doing editing, you know.
I was going to say, get a mentor.
Yeah, get a mentor.
That was like your main thing that you...
Yeah, get a mentor. Definitely, you know.
Start with editing.
Because I feel like that's like the ugly side of being a videographer, and stuff is getting in editing or being an editor.
Yeah. And edit your own footage, because you'll realize how bad you are at filming.
Exactly.
And you'll know what to improve.
It's true. That one. Even just one suggestion I did ask for someone who was actually young on like on the full-time filmmaker Facebook group was if they're still working a 9 to 5, they could sign up for like license subscription, like Artlist or Epidemic Sounds or something like that. No, not Storyblocks or something like that, where they have the stock footage.
Cool.
I start learning how to create stories through stock footage.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's something that I did as well, kind of just to practice with good footage and stuff, you know.
When it's so easy, everyone has access to editors, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, shoot on your phone, create content, get better. My kid's all about that now. He's using Snapchat, which I don't use, and he loves to do the Snapchat filters and just edit videos, and
that's cool.
We'll put them in our drafts. Haley
go.
actually posted one of them. It was so funny. But yeah, that's super cool. So, well, thank you for being on the podcast, man. I'm excited where this adventure takes us. I'm glad to be a part of your journey.
I'm glad to be part of yours.
Shape or form.
Yeah.
So we'll just end it right there.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Love it.